Okay, 3D stretching. It's a way to go ahead and use band stretching with partner-based stretching. So what we want to do is we want to incorporate a partner. Let me show you what I mean by being able to do some 3D stretching. The partner is now going to become a manual stabilizer of the opposite side in most cases, while the person stretching, in this case Carter, is going to be stretching. First of all, let's go ahead and just go through a simple overhead hamstring stretch. So he's just going to pull down. Now, typically what happens is as Carter goes through that stretch, his left quadricep and hip flexor, if tight, are going to go ahead and come up like so. So what you can do as a partner is apply pressure there while he is extending the foot up. You can also go ahead and just guide the foot more towards his head. So that's a coupling stretch. You're stretching left hip flexor quad with right hamstring and glute. Now let's go ahead and go into the crossover position. Carter's going to lock out. Now this is very important. Rotation is huge on athletes. And very often what happens is as your athlete pushes out over here, he lets this leg rotate out, which ultimately is going to put a lot of pressure on his low back. The way partners can prevent that is number one, stabilizing here and making sure this leg stays in the sagittal plane, but also providing just a little bit of rotation of the femur. So as Carter pushes out in this position, I'm going to go ahead and rotate him in this position a little bit. He's going to slow it down, which is important when you do partner stretching, to really slow it down so you can work together. I can also apply this hand here and provide a little bit more upward movement while I'm internally rotating his left femur. That's going to create an increased hip flexor quadricep stretch on this side with some external rotation stretching, and he's going to get the same thing on this side but more through the hamstring. Now he's going to reach up. He's going to do his typical hip rotation butt stretch, and when he comes down, you'll immediately notice that this likes to pop up. Very often when this is tight, hip flexor quadricep on the opposite side is tight. So what we're going to do is Carter's going to slide down just a little bit. I'm going to go in here and hold this here. As he pulls down, I'm going to once again apply pressure to his left femur and hold that flat. He'll back off, I back off. This time I'm going to rotate him in a little bit. He pulls down, I push down. Now he backs off, I back off. And we go ahead and work with that. Now sometimes what I'll do is slide in here so I create a little bit more elevation of the leg so he has to stretch more. Nice and easily now he's going to pull down, and I'm going to block his leg, this leg, from coming down. Therefore he's going to get more of a hip rotation stretch through this side. So that's how you can couple up and partners can start working together. Now he's going to roll onto his right thigh. He's going to use the new version of the hip flexor quad stretch that I've shown you guys in the past. He's going to sneak back a little bit, so he's going to slide back a little bit. Keep going there, buddy. Perfect. There you go, buddy. Good. Now, what I'm going to do is position this foot up here and get him up here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to block that so that that doesn't move. Carter's become very flexible, so he's already got his leg well positioned posterior to his trunk. That said, most of your athletes are going to be way in here. They're going to be more in line. You want to block that a little bit. Now, by blocking this, all right, now I can stabilize here, and Carter's just going to rotate his arm back, and I'm just going to make sure this leg doesn't go with him, so therefore then he doesn't have to stretch through his quadricep on the right side. So again, I'm going to block here and just hold that there. Then Carter's going to bring it back. We can sneak his leg back a little further. We can hold that, and he can go again. And he gets a nice stretch through that. So not only is he getting a good hip flexor quad stretch, but we're making sure this hip does not start to compensate and cheat. So those are just some ways that your partner can help you using the band and using the partner. You can get some really quality stretching, what I call three-dimensional stretching, because now what you're able to do is stretch multiple diagonals and multiple muscles at one time.